today's video, I got two tasks lined up. One is change the fuel filter on Fiat-Allis, and the other run a forklift down to another job I have coming up, and I'm just going to prep it. Supposed to receive a pre-engineered building tomorrow, so I'm going to run the forklift down there to the job site and drop it off and head back to the house and be on site tomorrow to receive the building. So first thing, let's get this filter switched out. A couple days ago, I came in and was knocking dirt down, and Big Alice doesn't have a fuel gauge on it, and I filled her up when I brought her out here, but I've used it a couple times since topping it off, and she had fuel in there, but I was on the incline, and she's low enough where once it got steep enough, she started sucking up air. But like I said, I'm doing a filter change anyway. I was gonna wait till I was finished the job, but I'll go ahead now, swap this filter out and fill her up. So got my trusty gauge here. Let's see if it registers. Nope. Nothing. And that's a pretty big tank in there. Let me try my other gauge and see what it reads. So you probably can't see it on the video, but there's about that much sitting at the bottom, and the draw tube clearly is below the draw tube. There's a little fuel in the filter. Now the fuel filter for Big Alice is a fuel water separator, not strictly a filter. Serves two functions of separating the water from the fuel, and then you can open this little petcock here and drain the water out, and once you see fuel start flowing, you just close it back up and you keep rolling. That's a Wix 33531. There's the old one, and that's the new. This is not the original engine that came in this machine. This engine is a John Deere, actually. And according to the manual and my research, these machines came with either an International motor, a Fiat-Allis motor, and the old faithful Detroit 471 or maybe a 671. But like I say, my machine came with none of these. Somebody had replaced, and that's a fairly new, it was actually fairly clean motor when I found it in the woods. And those of you that have watched that video, all I did was put a new fuel filter on it, put new batteries in it, checked all the fluids, and she fired right up. Now I know for most of you, changing a filter is old hat, nothing new, but maybe some folks out there are not familiar with it. But on a diesel engine in particular, because air is not your friend when it comes to fuel until it hits that injector or gets in the chamber. An area before that is going to cause you problems. But you want to fill your filter up with diesel fuel, and you also want to lubricate the gasket here, whether it be what you see here or on the other types that have the gasket on the top. But just put a light coat of oil around it before you stick it up there. And instructions generally come in the box. I think yeah, they're right. It doesn't hurt to look at the instructions, whether you've done this is your first time doing it or it's your 1000th time doing it. Instructions are there for a reason. Try not to spill as much as I did. And now all you do, stick your filter back on there. The priming pump on this particular motor is this little Star Wars looking flying saucer thing right here. There's a line that comes up from the tank and the line that feeds into the filter going into the motor. There'll be a lever on it, and you want to pump that until it gets hard. You'll feel it once you suck the fuel up in there. You'll feel it, some pressure against it. But before you start that, you want to crack your line so any air that is in there gets pushed out. There's two towers that sit on top of this pump, and this one here is the one coming up from the tank, and this line here extends on to the fuel filter. Now usually on these, the spot where you want to bleed, I've seen, you know, 1/2 inch nuts, 9/16. It's a 9/16 on the Black Knight over there. When I bleed that, my case has a little bolt up top, and most of the other machines I'm familiar with, or a lot of the newer machines, have an electric prompt, and when you turn the key on, it'll prime itself. I just changed a fuel water separator on a Cat about a month ago, and you don't even have to put fuel in the filter. You just take the old one off, put the new one on, turn the key on, and run through the priming procedures itself. But this one here, this little black knob right there, just turn that and open it, and then like I said, you pump. And it may take a while. So I don't feel anything. So that tells you I didn't get all the air out. But I'll tell you another technique. This pump has a real short stroke. So, you know, it may be tough catching, or it just may take a couple hundred strokes to get the fuel up to the filter. You can cheat if you got a source of compressed air. Make yourself a good seal, stick it down in the tank, and push the fuel through there, which is what I did. I didn't show it on the video, but that's what I did, taking air off the truck. This is pumping, so I can see the fuel and bubbles squirting out of the top, but it's taking a while. So I'm gonna start the truck back up and force some air through there and force that fuel up into the fuel line. Lead the system on Fiat-Allis. this pile out. May go ahead and knock both of them down and go pick up that forklift.